Hello, and welcome to Black Metal and Brews, a program in which I am desperately grabbing my phone to get the Instagram stream started. Uh, Thank you for being here. I see somebody is here and waiting and ready. I really appreciate your presence. Today, decided to make it kind of a USBM themed show. Uh, if you're watching this and aren't abbreviation keen, we're not here to judge. That's United States Black Metal, so black metal from the country I live in that seems to be falling apart sometimes, but we still love it. It's home most of the time. Uh, so as usual, I'm going to give it a minute and let some folks, whether that's on Instagram or some more people on YouTube, we will see how that goes. So glad to have you here all the same, and uh, you know just gonna roll with it. We got the same beer I've been drinking for a while because I got a 6-pack, and sometimes when you get 6-packs, these things happen. Oh, Bob Ham, hello. Good to see you. Or good to see your words. I wish this could be more like a Zoom chat type thing, but because I'm doing it on multiple platforms and the theme of my show, it doesn't go as smoothly that way. Um, anyway, got a couple people in, so let's throw a tape on and crack a beer. Speaking of cracks, this tape, the case is a little bit of a crack, but it's still one of the coolest things I've got in my collection, and I thought it'd be fun to share it with you as kind of an intro to tonight's, American, or rather United Statesian black metal show. It's the split tape from False and Bar Guest. We're going to listen to the false side, maybe both sides, we'll see. Wow. Wherever the mood takes us, right? It's been cool lately on some of these. Some people have actually said, "Hey, do you have X, Y, or Z handy?" And I've thrown it on, so that's been kind of fun. So we're gonna listen to Heavy as I didn't realize we were a little bit into it, so we're gonna rewind that real quick. I wonder if that's because the Bargas songs are shorter. Probably why. Cool. So here we are. Heavy is a Church Tower by False. I saw the first time they ever played this song live in a storage space in Florida. Really cool. Really good band. And I thought a great intro to a show on the theme of, cool black metal from the USA. And tonight's beer, Victory Sour Monkey. It's a triple take on the Gold Monkey. We'll be brief on the review since I've been drinking the same 6-pack for days now. But I realize that each time somebody may be new. So we're not going to react too much for those who may have seen it, but it's fresh. How's everybody doing? How's the world treating you these scary, strange times? Bob, you better get a beer. Or do you prefer to go by Robert? That's your full name. I feel like in talking with my better half, you've been referred to as Bob, but I realize that you two played music together years and years ago, and that may have changed. So let me know. I'm not trying to disrespect you. But, yeah, it's always beer time when you're in quarantine, and the life is a little more nebulous. So let's see. Trying to see if there's anything I can glean from this, but not a whole lot of extra info, and that's okay. So, you can see a thin head, rapidly diminishing, but that's okay. Kind of a candy green apple smell. Nice and tart and puckery. Really puckery. But a little bit of sugar. Just a little. What is going on there? Okay. All right. Hello, and we've got our friend Joel just joined in on Instagram. Hello, Joel. We're listening to False from their split with Barguest out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So, two great bands, one great split. And, thank you for asking, Joel. I'm doing all right. It's been an awfully cold day here in New York for a couple weeks in the spring. It's quite cold, which is why I'm wearing a hoodie inside. Yeah, this band is kind of, in my mind, the entirely unproblematic North American answer to like Emperor in many ways. They have a lot of the same keyboard sensibilities, same sort of maximalist approach to black metal. They're from Minneapolis, and nobody who's been in this band has ever killed anybody. So make it out of you. Also, they have an incredible drummer. Travis, who drums in this band, is a maniac. And for that matter, their guitarists are maniacs, their singers are maniacs. Everybody in this band is really on it. I think that's really cool. Yeah, no, they're a really good band. Rogelio, we're just listening to False and drinking a beer. Roger, I saw that lovely picture of you that you sent Autumn today. It made my day. That was too much. Made me really happy. Yeah. So for those who's tuning in, we're doing a show on USBM. Specifically, though, not but instead bands that I think are kind of maybe newer to the pack or less prominent. And I mean, in the case of these guys, I realize that they're a growing name, but how is Autumn? I can get her actually. Let me bring her in real quick. Let's see. All right. Well, Autumn's on the way. She needs just a minute. She's working on stuff, and I'm like sitting here interrupting her like a child every 5 minutes. I'm like, "Hey, how's it going? What's going on? What are you doing?" So, so I guess for both Bob Ham and Roger, just
hi, Bob Ham and Roger.
So, yeah. So,
where does this work?
Well, they're in the chat on YouTube. That's Roger, the setup. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And they'll say things back, but
I'll come back and say something.
Bob Ham asks how you are. He says hello.
Hi.
So how are you? Are you okay?
No.
Autumn is not okay. Things are.
How are you?
She wants to know how you are, Bob. Yeah.
How are you? How's the pandemic going?
Well, he said you better get a beer, so a little while ago. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to sip of this?
No, I have wine.
That's right.
Wine in the other room.
Yeah, Autumn's got wine, so she doesn't need this.
Yes, yeah,
it seems about right.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Are you homeschooling your kid? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's homeschooling kid. Yeah, no, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah. Is there a delay? This is so weird.
There's a slight delay.
You're getting a dog? Oh shit! What kind of dog?
Yeah, I want to know about dogs too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing online shit and hating it too. So,
Yeah.
so this is what you do. You just talk
Usually, so
I do not.
there's a chance to see what's like English Spring of Spain. Oh, we're gonna need pictures, Bob.
Yeah, pictures.
Or at least some of the autumn, at least.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll get to see him.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go get some wine.
You're gonna go do your thing. Okay. Well,
Bye, guys.
thanks for being here. Yeah. So cool. So I will when that picture goes up on Twitter, Autumn will see it. Autumn lurks Twitter, even if she doesn't post on it. So she's, I mean, I think the last time she made a tweet was 2017 or so, in 2018. But she checks it every day for mostly just to see comedians and the news sometimes. So she will see a picture of your new dog if you post it. Yeah. Yeah, these riffs and this keyboard just kill me. But no, that's, man, online classes, like, I know for some kids, because I think, Bob, your kid's like a preteen or a teenish, right? I know I have friends with kids who are like in the 6 to 10-year-old range, and they are going insane from all this. It's just terrible. Yeah, 12. Yeah, preteen. Oh my gosh, like 12 is a hard age to be, no matter who or what you are or what you're going through. I can't imagine them having this compound that all. Like, oh my god, man, like that seems like hell. Like at least I think as adults it doesn't make it less frustrating or easy, but I think as a grown up you can look at the pandemic and say, okay, this really sucks. I'd like to not die or have anybody I love be hurt, so I can rationalize it. But as a kid, man, that just seems like one of those cruelties of life. When the whole world already feels like it's conspired against you because you're 12. Oh, and on Instagram, hello, Chris. Glad to have you here. Again, we are doing a USBM themed program tonight, starting with the false side of the false bar guest split. The song is called Heavy as a Church Tower, and it's phenomenal. Yeah, I imagine it'd be scary for a kid. Like, God, I can't imagine. And that's the thing is, like, you don't want to lie to your kid. I don't imagine, but you also don't want the weight of it to sit too heavily, because I could really. I think this is going to change all of us, but especially people who are still developing into who they're going to be. When I was talking about with a friend of mine who's got a 7-year-old daughter, who's really having a hard time. She's an only child, and misses other kids, and they're worried about how this is going to affect her long term. And I feel so bad for that, because there's no solution. Even if you're the best, most attentive, loving, helpful parent in the world, you can't fix the world. And Mike Kelly, I agree. Seeing this band live was actually one of the things that kind of led to me getting the ears turning to start my blog almost 8 years ago now. So. And Chris, I'm glad you cracked a claw. I hope that you're enjoying your White Claw endeavors. I've never had that stuff. I don't think that it's probably for me, but I respect it. Oh, Mr. David, hello. Oh, Boy, so many people I love joining in today. It's Friday night. It's almost like a real Friday night when you meet with your buddies at the bar. Although in my world, that's usually like some random like Tuesday or something. It's never Friday, but it feels like a Friday. So much love, so many good people. And so David, if you just joined in, I'm letting everyone know we're listening to False from the Split with Bar guest. Tonight's program is themed around USBM. I thought that'd be an easy thing, and I realized I was wearing a shirt from my friend's band Swamp, which we're not really black metal, but they're US sludge, filthy metal band. And he runs a record label that specializes in, mostly North American music. So that would be cool. Ooh, coffee. That's right, boy. So some of us are on weird sleep schedules, I guess. Uh, but that's okay. Waking up any time of the day during a pandemic is acceptable. That's what's up right there. This is one of my like. I think a split album is always a gamble, but I'm usually quite fond of them. And this is one of my favorites in my personal collection. Maybe overall, you know, just both bands are kind of at their finest here. This was released on cassette by our dear friend Nate at Eternal Warfare. I think he was based out of Salem at the time, but he's definitely a Portlander now. Uh, it's Oregon. Because I realize Salem and Portland are both cities in the Northeast too. Yeah, I think it was originally on vinyl from Gilead Media. Uh, you know, people like vinyl and that goes like that. So I got the tape, and the tape is good. The songs are the same. They sound the same. You just play it with a different thing. Crazy how that works. This band is false, like untrue. Uh, Pretty good stuff. Um, yeah, I think this band is quite good. I've seen them live maybe 6 times. I think. I don't remember. But yeah, they're phenomenal. Uh, it's such a commanding stage presence as a band. Um, so much going on. I've seen them everywhere from like a tiny storage shed in Florida, twice, two different storage spaces where bands practiced, uh, to in Olympia though, in Olympia, Washington, big stage. And it's like, man, they, regardless of the space, they've just really owned it. And yeah, I really miss going to shows. Bob on YouTube is mentioning that, and it's like our first show of the year was supposed to be about 2 weeks ago now. Obviously, that didn't happen. Uh, our friends were going to have a tour kickoff show about a week from today. Or a week from today. That obviously isn't happening, and we were going to open that. And there's been so many concerts. Like, I was finally going to see the Residents later this happening. Or no, yeah, the Residents and Current 93 both later this month. And even just like missing local gigs, like just going, having a beer, seeing some bands that are local. Maybe you've heard one, and you find a couple others that rule, or maybe it's just a chance to go out and socialize. Like, I think shows are kind of a big conduit for us, and it's like, damn, dude, it's so ugly. And yeah, I was really excited to see Current '93. Uh, you know, I saw David Tibet sing with Hypno Pazuzu, his project with Youth from Killing Joke, 3 years ago at Roadburn, which was amazing. I really like how psychedelic that is. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Killing Joke, and I really like most of Current '93. They have such a broad catalog. Obviously, some of it hits more than others, but um, I was really excited to see Current '93 for the first time, and it's going to happen again next year instead of this year. So not all is lost, but still, what a bummer. Yeah, no, Residents. I didn't know Negative Land was still playing shows. I thought that one of the key members of Negative Land passed away, although so did one of the key members of the Residents. So yeah, have you seen Mismore, Bob? I mean, I know that you spoke with him recently. It's his music is phenomenal. I really enjoy seeing him live and all that. He's back in the real world, also a quite a good friend of mine. So I'm sure that gig will be rescheduled, and you'll have a chance to see him, given that he's local to you. And the music is even better live with Mizmore, much like it is with Hell in a lot of ways. And also, just it's great to see such a good human being excelling and seeing people connect with music made by somebody you care about. Like, that's a really special feeling. Um, Once upon a lifetime ago, I was in a regionally notable band in my hometown. And at our peak, we had maybe I think we had this one show where probably 300 or 400 kids came out, which was insane. And it was the most wonderful feeling in the world, knowing that at least half of them were probably there to see us. And it was like, oh wow, like this is really cool. So seeing it happen for my friends on a much bigger scale, it moves me because I know how incredible it feels, and it's not about you anymore at that point. It's really cool. Speaking of my hometown and American black metal, this is a band called Baron Altar that we're going to listen to next. It's their first demo. I know they recently put out an album last year, but Baron Altar is from Santa Rosa, California. I believe at the time of this demo, the drummer was somebody who had drummed in a band I was in called Tight Bikes. But Baron Altar had a lot of members shift. I think half the people I knew and loved who were in this band are no longer in this band, but they're still great. This is called A Monument to Endless Suffering. Well, the tape is. The song is called Malignant Light, and the other track on this side is called The Nectar of Human Blood. Good stuff. This was put out on the Arcane Visions Collective label. Good stuff. So this is kind of like sludgy black. Like, it's not doom and it's not black metal, but you can tell that they have a lot of that influence going. Santa Rosa, if any of you, Santa Rosa is about 70 miles north of San Francisco. So it's connected enough, but like it's not, it's not a big city. It's a small city. But so it's weird. Like you'll have micro scenes. There'll be like 3 bands that are on the wavelength, and then a lot of bands that sound like Pantera, because that's what the metal scene is in most cities. But because of that, I think being part of that when I was, 19 to 22 or so, made it really special because it didn't just feel like, oh, I'm part of this big thriving thing, which is also a really cool feeling. But instead, it was like you found the small contingent of other people that are weird in the way that you're weird, and especially when you're a teenager and early adulthood. It was the most important thing in my life. It really helped me develop a sense of confidence in self. And even though I left a long time ago, remembering the importance of being part of a weirdo community in a small town, I'll never forget that. Yes. Yeah. Whew. Those vocals, man. Yeah, like I was sterile sounding. Yeah. So on Instagram, our friend Joel says this is nasty and he likes it, and I agree. It's disgusting. If you need a link to it later, I'll send you one. I don't recall if this demo is still on their Bandcamp or if they just have their new album, but surprisingly enough, their new album is also good. So you'll be able to suffer through it one way or another. Yeah. I think at the time of this, my friend Dylan was playing drums and my friend Carl was on guitar, as well as my friend Ed, and lots of people I love. Because again, in that area, this was a small small scene, and even though it's grown because more extreme weird metal seems to be more widely accepted than when I lived in Sonoma County, it's still most of the bands that I know that are active there, and bless their hearts, are kind of playing a more deathcore, metalcore style, or that very kind of they love Pantera, Metallica, Slayer, that kind of thrashy groove metal that seems to be very common in local metal scenes across the world. I'm not going to speak ill of that. A lot of those people are my friends. I've been in bands with many of them. But there's definitely there's a distinct line between that and metal like this that will never have a widespread commercial appeal. It will never have even an accidental breakthrough in that way. So, I do have a special sort of love for the people that are committed to playing music like this. Bob, what was it you were looking at? The band's Bandcamp? Or, sorry, I realized the comments and my speech is probably a slight lag of a few seconds between the two. So I never know exactly what people are responding to sometimes, so I apologize. In fact, let me take 2 seconds and just drop the link on the chat on YouTube. Yeah, okay, so on YouTube, I dropped the link to this Bandcamp, and the funny thing, I didn't even realize this. I feel really happy now. This was engineered by the guitarist of my very first band, engineered and mixed by TJ Cabrera. He was the guitarist in the band. This drummer was in a grindcore trio called Tight Bites, and I have very, very fond memories of those two strange dudes. So that's kind of cool. I didn't even realize how much overlap there was here. And on Instagram, hello, John. We're listening to Bear and Altar from my hometown of Santa Rosa, California. Lots of family in the state. Wow. But yeah, they're a really good band. Because I was saying they're big band from my hometown right now is a group called Onimus. I don't know how to pronounce it. Onimus, I think. They're on like Nuclear Blast Records or something at this point. And I mean, I remember being in their house when they were writing and recording their first demo. And they're on Nuclear Blast. They're playing a much more commercial sort of metal. They're very good at it. It's that kind of tech deathcore stuff. It's I don't listen to that as much, but I have nothing but respect for them as musicians and as people. I recorded my
old band's entire album with in their house. So we're tight. But stuff like this just feels stranger. And John, you're asking what I'm drinking. It's the same thing I've been drinking because beer is running low. I don't exactly have the funds to go get more stuff. Or rather, I'm not leaving the apartment, and getting delivery is expensive. I've looked into beer delivery, and so I was like, oh, there's I could get a 12 pack of a certain beer, and it was like I kid you not, like $38 before taxes and delivery charges and stuff. I'm like, I'm just gonna exhaust what I've got, and then maybe at some point I will try to find a way to get out of the house to get beer. But bleak times. I'm suffering my way through this. It's actually it's fine beer. But yeah, there's a lot of repetition for that. What are you drinking over there in Chicago, John? Founder's Breakfast Stout. It's always time for breakfast when you got that beer on hand. I recently learned that that Founders as a company did some uncool stuff. So I recently drank my last Founders beer. But I'm not trying to call you out or anything. Just I'm bummed because they make really good beer, and there was some weird racial discrimination shit that came up with them, and it was really disheartening. It's like it's really not hard to not be a racist. It's really not hard. I've spent my whole life really not even having to think about that. So the whole thing with the black employee and the guy being like, I don't know if it's racial discrimination. I don't know your DNA. Like, oh my god. Like somebody told me that while I was drinking a Founder's beer on one of these live streams. I'm like, oh, that's good to know. I'm glad you told me. They make some great beer, but so do a lot of people. But that breakfast stout is killer. Enjoy it. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know what these guys tune to, but there's a lot of that kind of meaty low end for a black metal album. I guess because it's not straight black metal, but. Drop Z like Torch. Yeah, Torch has so many sugary pop riffs and hooks for a band that's so chunky. I really, and to be fair, I'm not a huge fan of most Torch, but I love that first one, the EP In Return, I think it's called. Absolutely killer. I'm more of a Floor fan, Have I heard the Black Curse record yet? No, I've seen a lot of people posting it. I think it was in my inbox at some point, but now it's out, so I need to look it up. I've spent the last number of days being in a little bit of a slump, and when I'm not doing this, I've mostly been trying to catch up on my best of 2010 through 2019 list, and listening to Andrew Weatherall mixes. Because sometimes you just need to hear Andrew Weatherall making really blissful, euphoric stuff. Oh, that's see, I didn't even know that. I think I'm confusing that with Black Vice, and I think that's why I was not so. I mean, I wouldn't have ignored Black Vice either, but I didn't realize he was in Black Curse, and I just kind of thought, oh, I'll get to it at some point. But knowing that pedigree, I mean, I literally, have, right here have the Spectral Voice tape, not the one where they're not Spectral Boys, but the Spectral Voice. And Black Vice is also real good. I just already know, again, that's definitely not a jab at Black Vice. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm always up for good black death metal. So Eli Morris and Jonathan from Burning Man sounds like a good mix of people. So, given that it's Friday, we're coming into another weekend. It changes nothing for most of us, but what are you guys doing to break up the week? That's good to know, because if this is a similar nasty character to Black Curse, then I'll probably like that. I've got bias on my side in liking this because these are a lot of my oldest friends making this, but I have plenty of old friends that make music that I don't like, and I'm never worried about it, but I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna play it on this or shout from the heavens about how much I love them. So that's cool. I need to hear that. Yeah, what's everybody doing? Is there a way any of you are making weekends distinct from weekdays, or have we just kind of given up on that? Or maybe some of you are actually working. Autumn and I and most everybody we know are not working, so every day of the week is the same. See, I wish I could spend all day listening to tapes and records. This is kind of the main room. Like that direction is, I guess unanswering my ideas. That direction is the bedroom. That direction is the kitchen and bathroom. So I can't really just sit here monopolizing the main, thoroughfare in the apartment. So hi Nina, and hope you're well. But I try a little time in with the collection, but it definitely feels weird. If I were to just sit out here all day just playing records and tapes. Lord knows I have enough of them, but yeah. So we're gonna fast forward to the end of this, and I wanted to play the other side of this, but also I have a couple more things I wanted to share with you guys tonight. So I think even though Baron Alter is phenomenal, you should look them up if you haven't already. We're going to move on to the next tape in my kind of random USBM thing, and it is Yellow Eyes with Hammer of Night. It's in a real leather case, handmade by one of the members of the band, Mr. Will, who is the vocalist and one of the two guitarists. If you don't already know Yellow Eyes, I think by this point most people do. They're blowing up in a very deserved fashion, but I've been a strong advocate for them since their first demo. And Hammer of Night is a few albums old now. It's probably 5 years ago. But there's not a sour note in their entire discography as far as I'm concerned, so I'm happy to share this with you. I could have picked literally any of their albums and been just as excited to share it, but I thought that the cool packaging made for it. While this starts up, I'm going to go grab another Yellow Eyes thing just to show you. Because I also have this little with a little tape inside it and a patch, and good fun. It's also Hammer of Nine, to be fair. It's a really beautiful package, so I have both. Yeah, I have Silence of the Evening Spot as well still. Joey, hello. Yeah, no, and Silence of the Evening Spot changed so much for me. Yeah, no, for a while there, I had the means to do so for a little bit. I would get every new thing that Yellow Eyes came out with in every format it came out in. But I lived in Florida where rent was cheap and I had money to kill and no future to plan for. Now, I'm at a point in life where I actually live in a city with expensive rent. I have a disability. And my rent is a lot more than the $375 a month it used to be. So I don't really order new music that often at all. Which is heartbreaking, but it's just reality. Well, I make the most of what I've got. Thankfully, I spent years in a position where I could get music. That's just like how a lot of the beer I drink now is cheaper, and I used to be regularly having $12 bottles of fancy-ass beer. Between having money to blow and working at Whole Foods with the employee discount, it's like, oh yeah, fancy beer is like cheaper, and I have money for it, sure. So Joey, if you're still on, I guess maybe just pop in to say hi. What are you drinking? I know you got to be drinking. It's 4 o'clock already. Okay. Well, so if you're not already familiar with Yellow Eyes, you can hear just how urgent and extreme their music is. Not in the extreme metal sense, but just like it really feels like they are desperately rushing towards or away from something at pretty much all times. The drumming plays a big part of that, to be fair, but it's not just the drumming. It's a lot more than that. There's the guitars, there's like dizzying, like, tremolo picked high titty leads. It definitely does not feel. I mean, it's clearly black metal. You couldn't put this in any other box, but it doesn't have the same feeling as like maybe second wave stuff. But it also doesn't feel like it's part of a newer, Black Days or anything like it. It's both in and out of any of the conventional boxes I can put it in. Which is why I love it. It looks like I may be having connectivity issues, so I apologize if you're watching this and it's being funny. And if it's not, that's even better. That's what we want. That's what I want. Hopefully you want it. Hopefully you'd like to see me not glitched out. But if I glitch and it's cool and funny, screen captain sent it to me. I like that too. I may not be as much of a rocker in a lot of ways to feel, but I love a good riff. I just think my idea that it's something different than a lot of people's, and that's okay. Yellow Eyes, just I don't know how they have so many good riffs in any given song. They have more riffs per song than I think I could write for a whole album. Like, it's I'm having an issue. I've got thanks for bearing with me. Okay. If you're having any issues, let me know. I just tried to load a new page to see if it would work, and it did. So clearly, I'm not having connectivity issues where I think I am. Let me grab something real quick. Ooh, that riff. Ooh. The lead, I guess. So, not tonight, but sometime soon, I'm going to do a thing around this one, which is another USBM compilation. I can just play this and walk away. It's a tape called Odor of Dust and Rot from the Rhinoceros tape label from way back. But I want to dedicate a special set and show to that, rather than just having it be all one thing. But yeah, if you're not familiar with the Odor of Dust and Rot tape, I don't think it's cheap to get on any platforms. That, it's also not available from the original people, so I don't think you should feel so bad if you listen to it other ways. That's all I'll say. Just, in my mind, it's not bad to do something like that if you are only preventing scalpers from exploiting you. To hell with them. If the artist isn't gaining the benefit of you paying $70 for something like that, then it's not worth it. Unless you're a collector completist, and then knock yourself out, do what you must. I'm not a drummer, but hearing stuff like this, I'm like, I want to air drum it. It's just so. It's very expressive drumming. I wish there was more like that. I believe on this record, this was their first one with Mike Rekovics on drums. I don't remember though. Let's look it up. Thank the internet for having resources for me. No, I don't think this was Mike on this one. Oh. No, yeah, he hadn't joined yet. That's especially crazy. I should be able to recognize his drumming. I'm such a fan of it, but I'm not there yet. To be fair, that might seem a little aggressive anyway. This does have some of the same punky floors as the first demo did, so that makes sense. And then we come into the next jam, which some of the big stuff here. God, man. And this is before they were going to Siberia to get samples for, they just made their own creepy ambiance like that. Oh, that is a classic Yellow Eyes lead. Like, that's so what they're about to be. Like, having a really ugly riff, and this like really melodic and triumphant come right out of it. Yeah, and each Yellow Eyes album is great, but there's always, on every one of them, for some reason, there's one song that always had that riff that hooks me, and I'm like, oh yeah, they still have it. I don't think they'll ever lose it, but you know what I mean. On this album, it's this one. It's so catchy. It's not right in the black metal song, but it's great. I'm glad they do. And I think after this side of the cassette, we're going to call it good. I'm trying to keep them to an hour these days so that Instagram can handle it, because Instagram kicks me off after an hour anyway. And restarting Instagram for another 15, 20 minutes, and then trying to make it work on YouTube too. It's not worth it for me, and I feel like I'm keeping a captive audience for far too long. But I like having you guys here, and I hope that you like doing this. And just as I said, two people I really appreciate join in on Instagram. Hello, good to see you. We are listening to Yellow Eyes from Brooklyn, New York, with the Hammer of Night cassette. It comes in like a handmade leather pouch. It also comes in a handmade wooden box, because of course I have 2 copies of this tape. And oh man, yeah, no, I've seen Yellow Eyes quite a few times, but never enough. They're not in a bragging way. I think I was the first person to ever write about them. I think a download blog or two had put their album up, their first demo up, but like I I really loved them, and I made the effort to like write about it. I was like, I must tell everybody about this band. And I mean, that was 8 years ago, and we've become friends. And I love them so much. They're good people. They're good musicians. They make me so happy. Uh, I think most of them still live in Brooklyn. At least the singer, though, has moved kind of out of town, more upstate, which means I hope he's probably safer than the rest of us right now with the pandemic. But I don't know. I mean, he's not just a singer; he's also playing guitar. But there's two guitarists. So that's the distinction. He's the one that yells, and his brother just plays guitar and doesn't have to hurt himself. Yeah, these guys were one of the first bands I ever wrote about. And their music, their sense of melody and structure is endlessly inspiring to me. It's really just, I don't know, man. Seeing them live is almost hypnotic. It's so aggressive, but it's also like, it's not aggressive at all in a way, too. It almost feels like you're just flying. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's euphoric for me, at least. So, yeah. Instagram's probably going to kick me off in about 3 minutes, just a guess, because I've been doing it for almost an hour, and that's just how it works. But we'll try and stick this out as long as I can, and when I get kicked, and we'll see you tomorrow. But these riffs, this dynamic here. It's exhilarating to me. I've been given a question sticker. What am I drinking? Oh, hello. That's so interesting. I am drinking the Sour Monkey from Victory Brewing. I've been drinking this a lot lately because I got a 6-pack and I don't have a whole lot of going out of the house time for my safety and money for my bank account. So I'm really milking the 6-pack. I'm kind of having one beer a day, maybe two, but this is 9.5% alcohol, so you don't need to have a lot of it. Instagram has told me that I've got 1:20 remaining. But of course, people all just joined in, so maybe I'm going to renege on my thing and we'll keep this running. So if you're watching on Instagram and it cuts out in a second, I'm going to restart it. So that's that side of that yellow ice tape. And, we're going to keep on rolling. Today's show is themed around USBM, or United States Black Metal Acts. And we're going to go with a record. So if you're watching on Instagram, it's kicking me in 30 seconds. I'm just going to turn it off now and start it up again. And we're going to listen to Cooks on Suum, your indigenous black metal from Los Angeles. Back in a second. Instagram folks, I'll see you in a second. YouTube people, thanks for your patience. We're just going to give Instagram a moment to get with us before we throw the record on.
because I realize the platform is weird and there's sometimes a lag, a delay. All right, let at least some of them get back in. As you see, I cannot whistle. And it is. So we are going to take a moment now to very slowly put on Eric. Hello. We're going to put on Cooksan Suum. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. I do not speak any sort of indigenous Central American dialect. This is their the LP that Fallen Empire Records put out in early 2013, collecting both of their tracks from other releases. We are going to listen to the side entitled Principle of Harmonic Resonance. Some real, heady stuff. Sounds like something David Lynch would be into, doesn't it? Matt, welcome. We're about to put on our Cooksan Suum record. You're a indigenous black metal group from Los Angeles. The members of the band have kind of Central American heritage. Obviously, they're not indigenous to LA. You can be indigenous to any given region, but obviously that heritage is probably a lot longer gone. So, Cooksan Suum, the song is called Principle of Harmonic Resonance. It's the only record they have collecting the only 2 songs they ever put out. And of course, the vinyl is so much quieter. I find it really frustrating. Can you guys hear that all right? Because it feels quiet to me and I'm sitting right here. Let me know if it's really quiet. Okay, it's quiet for me too. I don't know why the turntable's that way. You can't hear it at all. Okay. That's kind of what I thought. It's awfully quiet on my end too. So what that tells me is that record is for another time. I know there's got to be a way to make the turntable louder. Given that the tape deck is so loud that I have to have it on like a 1 of 10 setting, and this I have to turn to 10. So we're gonna throw on one more tape. Give me 2 seconds since we're trying to grab a tape that fits the theme. Doop-a-doop. Doop-a-doop-doo. All right, here's a classic. Oh, better turn that down. That's going to be really loud. So we got some friends of mine from Southern California. Matt says it's a preamp issue. I'm sure it is. Autumn understands these things. I do not. This band is called Harasser. This album is called Night on My Side, the Bruno Sessions. These guys are ridiculous. Oh, I guess it'd help if I had switched my receiver to play tapes. So, here we go.
So Harasser is kind of you can tell that they like punk, but they're a black metal band too. So there's that. And excuse me. Harasser is a three-piece band. This is the band with the producer and a cat. The producer's the guy up front with the glasses. So that's Harasser, and that's a cat. They love cats. I have a Harasser button that's got a little cat face on it, but it's all kind of, you know, high contrast black and white image to make it look scary. So they're very vicious music, but they're also very sweet, loving people. I've only seen them live once, and it was at a Halloween party in Portland, Oregon. But it was really fun, and I don't know, they're really good guys. The guitarist is a one-man band called Moon Knight. He's also a one-man band called Vorpal Sword. The drummer is a noise artist called Andor Captain. The singer sings in another band called Calm, but it's Qaalm. And also, the guitarist now lives in, I want to say he moved to Kentucky, I think, to be closer to his family. Oh, it's either Kentucky or Missouri. I know that that's offensive to confuse the two. I just don't remember where he moved. But he's in this, I mean, they're all sweet guys, but he's especially a sweetheart. He's gone out of his way to show me a lot of kindness. But also, like, these riffs. Like, what is up with that? Like, like the singer's like the heavy metal buyer, or no, not the heavy metal buyer. He's like a used item buyer at Amoeba in LA, or at least maybe it's a past tense thing, because God knows what's going on with the pandemic and everybody's losing jobs. But I'm pretty sure that's what Pete's still doing. That's what he was doing when I was in LA a couple years ago. He's been doing it for forever. And the singer, his beard goes like to about here. He's just like, this album's probably 10 years old now. I'm close to it. Let's see, what year is this? Yeah, it was recorded in August 2010. So they're obviously they're both the same and a little different at this point. They're great age. So they actually, oddly enough, put out a record on the mostly noise experimental electronic pop label. Dice Records put out a Harasser LP. I don't know how that happened, but I think that's really cool. Yeah, I can't speak highly enough about these guys. So, and I've run out of beer. There's delicious dregs. What are you guys drinking? I know that earlier our friend Chris was drinking a White Claw. But, Joel, Matt, if you guys are having a drink, tell me. Let me live vicariously through you. I feel like all I'm drinking lately is this sour triple. I'm just waiting for the day I get something else. Not that anything's wrong with this. Just that, variety is the spice of life, and my life is not really spicy right now. Water's good. That's what I got going here. That's some Portal shit right there. Okay, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to put this in the sink with some water in it, do the right thing. we've reached the point that where this is winding down. The tape has all the energy, but we're already about halfway through this cassette, or at least through this side of the cassette. And I've committed to doing another stream of a video game in about 15, 20 minutes. So we're going to wind down. I know it's sad. I like doing this. I like talking to you guys. I like hanging out. But I also need to pace myself and take a few minutes between my two things. Or else I know what's going to happen to me is I'm going to end up having to get up and pee during that or something. Or just being exhausted. You get a sore throat from talking like this all the time. Maybe some people don't, but I'm not. I don't know. If I talk a lot, I just get a sore throat. It doesn't do well for me. So we're gonna mellow out now. So this has been Black Metal and Brews. In about 15 minutes, you can catch me at twitch.tv/Black Metal and Brews. Playing Hollow Knight. And you can find me on Twitter, Patreon, Instagram. On Twitter, since I couldn't think of all these Black Metal Brews. But all those things that URLs just /Black Metal Brews otherwise. And I'd love to see you, connect with you, talk with you. Send me an email with recommendations, anything. The whole point is for us to connect as humans. It's not just meant to be a platform for me to talk at you. So thank you to everybody that actually interfaces with me. I miss having human connection. I miss going out and having a drink with my friends. I'm sure you do too. Excuse me. So let's do this again soon. Probably tomorrow. I'm Ben. You're you. It's been Black Metal and Brews. Cheers.